Justin Baldoni and his PR team are facing horrific death threats and private health leaks as legal battle with Blake Lively rages on.
Her crazed fans of Ryan and Blake are out there trying to extort and harm people and do this horrific stuff.
Blake Lively just got exposed for yet another sinister tactic. At this point, she's not just throwing tantrums, she's actively torching reputations.
We're literally one of the evilest people in the world, terroristically. Your Blake Lively campaign is on par with something you expect from, my idiot. Realize, this is sick.
Justin Baldoni's family to dodging FBI investigations. Her warpath now includes arson, doxing, and straight-up career destruction. And yet somehow she still struts red carpets with that practiced smile like nothing happened.
Justin's PR team is facing horrific threats. And even worse, his business partner, Steve Sarowitz, just faced this crazy person who committed arson and tried to extort the family by kidnapping his daughter.
Let's make this crystal clear. Blake Lively is not misunderstood. She's not some soft-spoken, floral-wearing feminist icon. She's a pastel-coated storm cloud, hovering over people's lives while sipping champagne at whatever fake woke gala will still have her.
You see them in Wrexham, they're walking red carpets, they're living their best life.
Her PR halo? Gone. Torched. What's left behind isn't just bad press, it's federal. We're talking FBI involvement. Because Blake's mess has officially spilled out of the gossip columns and straight into criminal territory.
It's tragic, man. I want to give you some updates on what's happening on Justin's side of things, because look, Blake's been out there saying, oh, I have these horrible DMs I'm getting. It doesn't sound like it's as bad as this.
While she poses for photo ops like the Pinterest version of Princess Diana, real people are being scorched. Justin Baldoni's entire team is facing threats, trauma, and felony-level fallout, all while Blake hides behind hollow monologues about female empowerment.
This is close to Baldoni revealed to Daily Mail that Baldoni and several employees at the agency group set up by Melissa Nathan, have been hit with death threats in the wake of the lawsuit.
Meanwhile, she's strutting like she's campaigning for Queen of the Universe. This isn't PR sparring anymore. It's a full-scale FBI investigation. And the spark that lit it all? A flaming garbage can and a text message that could have been ripped straight from a Saw script.
Court documents filed by Lively's legal team also included addresses of several of the publicists involved in the scathing battle, leaving them fearful for their family.
April 28th, someone decided to convert Steve Sowitz's driveway into an arson installation. This wasn't a trash can spark. It was a planned burn. Paint cans, accelerants, the whole felony starter pack. Like the perp skimmed a how-to and thought, yeah, that'll do.
What happened here with Steve, because it's just awful.
The house? A modest Highland Park place listed around $1.8 million. Totally normal suburban nightmare. Steve Sowitz, co-founder of Wayfarer Studios and Justin Baldoni's business partner, is one of the only local billionaires. So yeah, a target that gets noticed fast.
She's out there signing autographs, living her life, living her best life. And meanwhile, Justin and team are facing horrible consequences. Now, I want to start here because Justin's business partner, Steve Sarowitz, the billionaire who funded Wayfarer, which, by the way, important to also note that Wayfarer, the foundation, has now folded, as we previously reported.
And it didn't stop at a creepy arson attempt. Not long after the flames died, Sowitz's wife got a message. Nice fire. Now cough up $80,000 in unmarked, non-sequential bills, or your daughter doesn't make it to graduation. What kind of sociopath writes ransom notes like a bad movie extra?
Prosecutors say the suspect committed arson at the billionaire family's home in Highland Park. He then threatened to kidnap the daughter if they did not provide him $80,000 in cash.
They even sprinkled in cinematic villain speak for extra terror. This is only a warning. More will follow. Because nothing says reasonable negotiation like threatening a kid and promising escalations later. Classy.
You fail to comply, we will take your daughter's name and she won't make it to graduation. At that point, we will ask for more money.
And these creeps weren't bluffing. They followed up with more texts, this time straight to the daughter. Let that sink in. They named her college, her sorority house. They told her flat out, "You're not untouchable." And just in case that wasn't enough nightmare fuel, they added, "The next fire starts from the inside." This wasn't trolling. This was monstrous.
They say a garbage can was lit on fire in the driveway at the house around 3:25 a.m. on April 28th. It was filled with paint cans and other flammable accelerants, and it burned to the ground, damaging the lawn.
And the criminal mastermind orchestrating this circus? Eduardo Aragon, 25 years old, caught using the public library's Wi-Fi as his operations center. Because when you're plotting felony arson and kidnapping, obviously the best HQ is next to the children's reading corner. He confessed too. Now he's facing arson, intimidation, harassment, the works. Meanwhile, Blake's still out here pretending she's standing in her truth.
You guys are prepared to spend $100 million to ruin the lives of Miss Lively and her family. We are sure you can spare a few for your daughter.
So why did any of this even happen? Because Blake Lively decided to escalate a civil lawsuit with tactics straight out of a dystopian novel. And she wasn't done there. Apparently, she thought doxing was a natural next step.
What? This is insane. This is insane what this is now all caused. All because he called you sexy? All because of like the dumbest stuff on earth? Because you got some bad press?
Her court filings, yes, official legal documents, just so happened to include the home addresses of PR employees tied to Justin Baldoni. Let's pause on that. The woman who cries about privacy and wails, "Leave my family alone," had no problem plastering other people's addresses into the public record. Privacy for me, but not for thee. Case in point, Jed Wallace, 51 years old, a PR fixer dragged into Blake's fantasy war for allegedly weaponizing digital armies. Whatever that's supposed to mean.
How much harassment this is? This is the only hope it's do is treat you like scum, flesh-eating, vile creature that you are and cancel you. This person should be ashamed of themselves. And I'm sure they know who they are. Sure they're seeing this.
Was he commanding a squadron of Twitter bots from his living room? Of course not. But Blake's legal team cast him as the villain in their script, and surprised, the man wound up in the hospital with a heart condition. He was never even properly served. They dropped him from the case later like he was a typo, but the damage was done. His name smeared, his health wrecked. For what?
Wake of his legal woes with Blake Lively, with one crisis PR boss allegedly having his private health information leaked. Okay, so are they talking about Jed Wallace? I don't know.
Then there's Melissa Nathan and Jen Al, PR pros just trying to do their jobs, until Blake's side decided to dump their home addresses into court records like it was Yelp for harassment. The fallout? Both women had to turn their houses into fortresses, installing security gates just to feel safe. Imagine living behind steel bars because a Hollywood actress couldn't handle being called sexy in a TikTok interview.
See, the damages are all on the side of the victim here. Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Melissa Nathan, Jennifer Abel, Steve Sarowitz, everyone on that side and their friends and families and everyone who worked at Wayfair are suffering, while the elitists, while the golden goose, the people who are the special chosen one.
And it gets darker. One of these women, a mother of 2 toddlers, has been living in a state of real fear. Not someone was mean online fear. The kind of fear where you don't step outside your own front door. Because Blake's legal filings didn't just name people, they exposed their families, their children. But sure, let's all applaud Blake for bravely strutting through charity galas while the wreckage she left behind burns.
What they're doing to private people through their actions has caused despicable situations. Look at this. They'll bury you. Dear Tag, this is a message from Melissa. We can bury anybody.
Blake floats across red carpets in couture gowns, flashing smiles like none of this carnage exists. No accountability, no acknowledgement. Because why face your actions when you can toss your lawyers at the rubble and twirl into your next premiere? And make no mistake, this isn't some Twitter backlash. These are felony-level crimes that started with court filings and escalated into FBI involvement. Steve
informed him that the center was the person who left the president outside with another message. Obviously, at this point, the FBI got involved, and they used the technology and what warrants to isolate the sender, and that's where they were able to find the person, the alleged person, Eduardo Aragon of Highland Park.
It's her like a victim. Why? Because she knows how to pose. Because she says empowerment in interviews and wears pantsuits like armor. Meanwhile, the people she endangered are living with trauma, threats, and in some cases, literal gates around their homes. Jed Wallace nearly died. A billionaire's daughter narrowly avoided kidnapping. These aren't optics. They're live.
Another one on Thursday, identifying her college and the address of her sorority house. Terrifying stuff. Okay, Miss Honor Roll, we all know you're at blank. You guys are not untouchable. You can upgrade your security all you want, and that still won't stop us.
So the next time someone calls Blake Lively America's sweetheart, hand them the receipts, the texts, the leaks, the arson reports, the FBI files. This wasn't Hollywood gossip. This was an operation that spiraled into something vicious because Blake couldn't handle scrutiny. And let's kill the trolls did it excuse right now. These weren't garden variety you suck comments. They were full-blown manifestos. One even branded publicist Jen Al the Hitler of PR and a terrorist evil. That's not fan chatter. That's psychosis with a return address.
Because I am clothed in black. Some of the directors may know what that means. Before you go attacking good people like Blake, be sure of this. There are no secrets to those of us clothed in the darkest black of night. Do not know. What is happening?
What the hell? Who writes that unless their brain's been permanently microwaved? That fury doesn't appear out of nowhere. It's fed, stoked, and weaponized by narratives. And who was out there pouring gasoline on every rumor like it was a new fragrance? Yep, Blake Lively, our pastel storm. Another message to Steve Sowitz's daughter was chillingly titled, "It Ends With You." Not dramatic at all. The note even repeated the fantasy of fire from the inside. This wasn't trolling. It was an explicit threat.
You're prepared to ruin all of your lives over a little bit of money. The next fire we start will be from the inside. Can you imagine how terrifying that would be?
Sound familiar? It should. The threats tracked alarmingly close to the real arson on the driveway. These people weren't random keyboard warriors. They were synchronized with actual violent acts. One line even read, "You can upgrade your security. We'll still get by." Translation, install gates, cameras, guards. Cute. We'll come anyway. This isn't trolling. This is targeted terror.
More text messages were sent same day. We gave you guys time to consider our offer. Remember, no one is untouchable, not even you guys. You can have someone post it at night. You can leave the lights on. You can upgrade your security, but we will still get by.
They weren't just tweeting. They were tracking homes, stalking families, and scripting nightmare manifestos as if Saw Ibn needed a press agent. Conveniently, it all started after private info from Blake's legal filings leaked out like a Black Friday sale at TMZ, and the lunacy didn't stop there. These clowns started spouting cult-style gibberish about being clothed in black and above governments. Who do they think they are? Sith interns? What's next, a blood moon sacrifice?
We're not asking for millions, just $80,000. That's nothing to you people. The message said, we can do this the easy way and nobody has to know. All you guys have to do is drop off the money at a public location and disappear. Simple as that. If you'd like to go against us, then so be it. We will not stop. I mean, God, this guy's a moron.
Deranged followers got activated in the middle of Blake Lively's PR war. You don't need a corkboard of strings to see the pattern. She cracked Pandora's box, then acted shocked when demons spilled out. And then it went nuclear. Hate speech showed up. Anti-Semitic slurs, dehumanizing language, branding Baldoni's team as terrorists. This crossed from harassment into federal hate crime territory. Someone mixed personal prejudice with death threats and hit send like it was a greeting card.
I saw a picture of him. I can't imagine him being out there defending Blake Lively, and that's why he did this crime. But I don't think it would have happened unless Blake Lively had sued Justin Baldoni.
So yes, the FBI got involved. Not Instagram mods, not a PR firm, the actual Federal Bureau of Investigation. This thing left California, crossed state lines, and turned into a full-blown criminal probe. Arson, extortion, cyber harassment. Highland Park police coordinated with feds and tracked Eduardo Aragon, the bargain bin Bond villain who set the garbage can on fire, down to library Wi-Fi surveillance footage. He confessed like a tired amateur. Public Wi-Fi, surveillance cameras, and an admission that made him look exactly as competent as he was.